Imagine living in a town all by yourself. No neighbors, no traffic, no crowded grocery stores, no waiting in line at the post office. Just you, your home, and your town. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But this is real. Welcome to Monowi, Nebraska, the only town in America with just one resident, and that resident is also the mayor. This is the incredible story of how one woman keeps an entire town alive, all on her own. Monowi was once a small farming town in Nebraska, founded in the early 1900s. At its peak, it had around 150 people, with farms, schools, businesses, and families building their lives there. But like many small rural towns across America, people started moving away. Young people left for bigger cities to find work and opportunities. And slowly the town population dropped lower and lower. Over the years, houses became empty, shops closed down, and the town turned into what many would call a ghost town. But one person never left. Her name is Elsie Eiler. She is the last remaining resident of Monowi, and she has become famous for being the only person living in an official town in America. Elsie is in her 80s, and she has lived in Monowi her entire life. When her husband passed away in 2004, she officially became the last resident left. But instead of leaving, she stayed and decided to keep Monowi alive, no matter what. Here is where things get interesting. Because she is the only person in the town, Elsie is not only the mayor, but also the clerk, the treasurer, the librarian, and the bartender. She runs the famous Monowi Tavern, the only business in town where people from miles away stop by to eat, have a drink, and chat with her. Travelers from around the world visit just to meet the woman who is the sole resident of an American town. Imagine walking into a bar and the owner, bartender, and mayor of the town are all the same person. That is exactly what happens in Monowi. Every year, as mayor, Elsie has to do paperwork for the state of Nebraska. She signs off on her own taxes, issues herself a liquor license so she can run the tavern, and even creates a town budget of about $500 a year to keep the streetlights running. She literally approves her own forms and stamps them as mayor. But Monowi is not just about Elsie's tavern. She also runs a library, built in memory of her late husband Rudy. The library has thousands of books, and although hardly anyone lives nearby, people come from all over to donate books and take part in keeping Monowi's history alive. For Elsie, the library is more than just a building. It is a way to keep her husband's memory alive and to give visitors a piece of the town surpassed. What makes Monowi fascinating is not only that it is a town of one person, but also the fact that it challenges our idea of what a town should be. Normally, when we think of a town, we imagine neighborhoods, schools, city halls, and people everywhere. But Monowi is legally recognized as a town. Even though Elsie is the only person living there, it has its own zip code, its own entry on maps, and its own mayor. That makes it unique, not just in the United States, but in the entire world. And here is a surprising fact. Even though only one person lives there, Monowi is not abandoned. People stop by constantly to visit Elsie. Travelers, journalists, photographers, and curious road trippers come to meet her and to see what a one-person town looks like. In a way, Monowi attracts more attention today than it ever did when it had 100 residents. But Elsie's story also shows the bigger picture of what is happening in rural America. Thousands of small towns across the country are shrinking as young people leave for opportunities in bigger cities. Many towns lose their schools, businesses, and post offices, and some disappear completely. Monowi is special because even with just one resident, it refuses to disappear. As long as Elsie is there, Monowi is alive. Elsie herself says she is happy living there. She does not feel lonely because people are always stopping by. She runs the tavern, she maintains the library, and she continues the traditions of her community. Even if she is the only one left, her life is a symbol of independence, resilience, and a unique kind of American spirit. So what will happen to Monowi in the future? Elsie is now elderly, and when she is gone, it is likely the town will officially disappear. Without her, Monowi may become just another ghost town in Nebraska. But until then, Monowi remains one of the strangest and most inspiring places in America. A place where one person keeps an entire town alive. Think about it. A town with only one resident. A mayor who signs off on her own licenses. A bartender who serves travelers from around the world. A librarian who runs a collection of thousands of books. All in a town that legally still exists, even with no one else there. Monowi may be small, but its story is bigger than life. So the next time you hear someone say that one person cannot make a difference, remember Elsie Eiler and her town of Monowi, because she has proven that one person really can keep a whole community alive. And maybe that is why Monowi has become world famous, not because of its size, but because of its spirit.